Welcome back to the Guerrilla Gardening Show. I'm Mike from Mike's in the Garden, back with my man Sam Igo from Central Florida Abundance. What's happening, Sam?
Oh, it's going well out here, Mike. Looking
Not not
pretty.
too hot for you? Or always hot?
It's always hot, but you just kind of get used to that. If you sweat enough, then it goes away. That's what I
People
tell
pay
myself.
thousands of dollars to put saunas in their homes. I just go outside for like 3, 4 hours.
Don't tell people that. They'll just move here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is definitely a sauna out there. It's the middle of the summer and the humidity is up, but we're inside now. The gardens are looking good outside. And I heard that you've got something really nice growing in your garden and you wanted to show us today. What you got?
So, I'm a guerrilla gardener. If I see a plant somewhere and I think it would look good in my garden, I will take it. Um, you know, I'm not going on someone's property necessarily, but um, this Maypop passion flower comes from the bird rehab I volunteer at. And I took six of them, all six of them. This is going to be a widescreen or
Didn't you help plant them as well? You helped plant some of the things out here, right?
yeah, at the bird rehab, I did plant a garden there, but these are just native Maypop purple passion flowers that are, yeah, it's going to be a distorted video because this is
Uh,
actually um,
did you film it the wrong direction? Is it
well, this is meant for a YouTube short or a reel. So,
like six or whatever, the tall?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But
Hmm.
this is your yard, right? I saw that fruit there in that first shot.
Yeah. All right. So if you just saw a weird edit or cut, the video I was trying to get us to watch was shot in a real short frame. So I had to run out real quick and get a 16 by 9 widescreen video. So let's check this out real quick.
We're learning, y'all. We're
Yeah.
gardeners, not well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I should have known better. But yeah, this is one of them here. This is the second trellis here. So this is
Wow.
this is just two plants on each trellis.
Two plants that you planted. Yeah.
Yeah, transplanted. And so you can see, and among these two, I've got some sunflower there. There's my
Looks
watermelon
very
vine there.
it looks very diverse. I see a dragon fruit
Little dragon fruit
hanging
that's
on.
it's literally hanging on there. Um, so we had pulled up on the, is it the Florida Native Plants? What's the website you had there, Sam?
Uh that is fnps.org.
Okay.
Here, I can pull that up real quick.
Yeah.
Uh
You should just be able to share it.
so this is the plant right here, Passiflora incarnata. And I mean, you can kind of idea it by the petals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the different passion flowers are going to have they have a similar flower structure, but the details of the flowers will be different. There's also some differences with the leaf morphology, but that can get in a little deep. And yeah, this is our native passion flower. Um, and if you guys haven't been on this website, the fnps.org plant lookup is really just a wealth of information about all the native plants that are probably growing around anyways. You said this plant was just growing on one of the properties that you visit.
Mm-hmm.
And something like this, we can see what kind of wildlife that it benefits, um, and where it likes to grow. It's pretty much distributed all through Central and North Florida and down the coast, everywhere except the Everglades, I would say. Um, and it doesn't talk about it in this, but the passion flower, the Maypop passion flower, spreads underground through an underground root system, and that makes it really easy to propagate. And so, the plants that you took from the bird rehab, you didn't even really remove an individual from the site. You just took a piece. You essentially took a cutting of this,
Sure.
plant. And so the original is still there. Um, and I mean, when you can do that, then you're just spreading the diversity. And from what we just saw on that map, it should have been growing in your yard anyways. Somebody just eliminated it a long time ago, and you're just putting it back where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, when these developers, and I'm not anti-development. I'm
Hey, it
anti.
was probably a farmer that really got rid of it originally.
Yeah, it could have been.
Us
I mean,
farmers, we're good at,
yeah, yeah.
eradicating every
Well,
species that's a
I
problem
see
to
when
us.
they put in a new. I mean, I'm from up north, and when I did construction, like we just cut down what we needed to like build a house.
That would make sense.
Here they
That's a
just like,
crazy
let's just
concept.
eliminate this whole area, and then we'll come back in a year or two from now and put palm trees in, because every bird can't survive without palm
Yeah.
trees. So
Or they're planting oak trees in 15-gallon pots that are on the side of a road that, probably shouldn't be there anyways, but they're not ever really going to grow because, I mean, these trees, this is not how trees are meant to grow. And yeah, that's why we got to do our part. But I really wish Florida had some better development ethics. I can say that, I don't like our current strategy for development, but I can definitely see, development is great and we could do it a lot better. We
yeah, I
just
mean,
got to
there's
have,
there's plenty of empty fields with nothing in it that you would think would be the place to build something. And unfortunately, where I live, those were next to the highways and the major byways that, location, location, location. You want a business or something to succeed, it needs to be near other things. So, I'm not naive to, how all that works, but, you know,
imagine the things that could be growing in those empty fields, though, that people don't want to develop on, that are
for
just
sure.
considered
Yeah.
like, you know, not good land. Like that's still, it's
Well,
funny every time I see people say that, that land's just not very good. It's like, okay, but that doesn't mean, it's not good for building, maybe,
yeah.
but it can still be part of the ecosystem. It still is. And if it's, just becomes a dumping ground or whatever, then it's not a very functional part of the ecosystem.
Well, let this be a PSA. If anyone out there is watching or listening and they know someone with an empty plot of land, or you may have an empty plot of land and you want to know what kind of diversity we can help bring to that land, hit us up. Message Sam, message myself, and maybe we can come up with some kind of plan to get a community garden going, or we can just start planting a bunch of passion fruits, and 10 years from now it'll be a passion fruit nursery or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I
Passion
mean,
flower.
absolutely. If somebody's got some land that they have permission to be on and, you don't know what to do with it, then, let's make a community garden because every piece of land is productive when it comes to plant growth. It just depends on, what wants to grow out there. Um, and that's why, working with natives, it becomes a lot easier because those plants, as long as you choose natives that are native to your, you know, actual niche, then they're gonna do well. They've already adapted to the climate. You may still have to do some work on the soil, but luckily Mike puts a lot of attention into his soil. I think even before you even really thought about the soil, you were adding stuff to it, weren't you? With the mulch and compost.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we've probably been composting longer than anything else we've done as far as, attempting to grow stuff. So I wanted to show you my pull-up bars here because, well, the one bar, but these are the posts. And so this is how I have the passion fruits growing up. Um, Now you can see there's a nice little flower there, but you can see I have all these little hooks installed because otherwise it's just going to sprawl out across the ground.
Ah,
And
that's real
so
smart. That's a great trellis system for that, really. I
I
was
have
I was wondering how you got it up that post.
I thought like a dragon fruit. I used to have a dragon fruit on here. The dragon fruit, it roots inside as it's going up.
Right.
Um, and so not something I had to worry about until the hurricane said bye bye dragon fruit. Um, which is still actually some remnants of it
I saw a
floating
little
along.
something at the bottom
Yeah,
down there.
yeah, he's hanging on there. But I do try not to intervene too much with the plants as far as I can help it. But in this case, I wanted to see how it would look overtaking the actual posts so that I could still use the bar and perform the actions of what's there. And so I just got these little eye hooks. I've got them drilled in every 8 to 12 inches, and I have helped them up with all their long viney tendrils there, and they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, it looks great. And I mean, that little bit of help and guidance, that's what makes it a garden and not just a wild area. You know,
Yeah,
it's your management. It's the human touch that makes it better for us. It's just about, like you said, small touches and not like, clearing vast swaths of land all at once.
for sure. Yeah, and
And and so this plant specifically, uh, well, I guess all passion vines is a host plant for some specific species. Have you seen any caterpillars on these yet?
I got a great video you can check out on my YouTube, Instagram, wherever you want to go, and it's literally the fritillary like devouring a leaf, and it's like it looks like it's sawing it up and down. And it was the coolest thing. I just sat there for a minute and filmed this thing. I do have another video I want to share that's super awesome. But yeah, um,
Oh yeah.
all types of diversity. Naturally, the caterpillar turns into a butterfly. The butterflies come back, pollinate the flowers. Um, and one of the main reasons I wanted to bring these into my food forest was, something you taught me a while ago, Sam, was look around and see what's kind of growing naturally. And so week after week, year after year, I'm at the bird rehab and I'm like, hey, these things just come back every year. They're in sandy soil, no one's doing anything, and they're not thriving as well as mine are because I'm paying a little bit more attention to them. And also, mine are pretty much in full sun all day. They're getting a lot of water with the rains we've had. We're at the bird rehab. Some of them are kind of in more shaded areas and areas that may get trampled on. Um, but that's why I incorporated these into my food forest because of the diversity they bring. It is a native flower, and I'm stoked at how well they're doing and the fact that I have my volunteers already that I can probably, guarantee that they'll be back next year too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you'll definitely from how they're doing, I'd say you're gonna have this passion flower in your yard forever. And your neighbors may get it as well. And I mean really in any yard, you know, it's a running plant. It'll pop up, underground and pop up places. But if it's in a garden bed, it's not really a bit problem. You know, you can cut it back. You can let it grow on your plants. If pops up in an empty spot in a garden bed, you just let it fill it. It's a free plant. And if it shows up in the lawn, in other people's lawns that they consider a weed, then it can just be mowed. It's really easily managed and it can make a nice chop and drop because they don't root along the stems. They only root from that underground portion. And so, you can cut this whole thing up if you want. If you don't have anything else to use as chop and drop, or if you're at a place like you said the bird rehab is, where there's just tons of it everywhere and it's not all doing well, you cut it out of those areas that it's succeeding less and use it to feed other areas of the system. And at the same time, it's, feeding the insects and feeding the pollinators. Um, and it's our native insects and pollinators. We have much fewer invasive insects than we do invasive plants or even like exotic plants. And insects are co-evolved with the plants that have, evolved with them. And so the insects need the plants that are native to them because they're going to be more adapted to eating and, pollinating those flowers. And so, you know, if you want to encourage like healthy insect populations in your garden, which you do, don't nobody argue with me on that. You need the bugs. You got to have the natives. But yeah, I'm great. I'm happy to see how well they're doing for you. And I think, you made the right observations. That's really the key. You thought about it, you looked at the differences and similarities in your sites, and then, most of the work after that is just a little bit of care in the beginning, and then they just go.
Yeah, they've been pretty explosive just in the last um
Somebody must be breaking into the house.
in the last month. Um this is, I guess we could call him a drunk bumblebee on the Maypop passion flower. And
Drunk on pollen.
this is a huge bumblebee. So
Oh, okay.
maybe it's gonna look even bigger. Um, but yeah,
Let's
it's gonna
see
be
what you got
distorted.
here.
But
Oh, he is covered in pollen.
yeah, yeah,
You can see it all over his back.
yeah. And you see, he's kind of falling off the
Yeah,
leaf
he's just
there.
hanging on there.
Yeah, and I guess that was it. I took a few videos of him, but um, yeah. Anyways, I thought that was cool. That video will be posted on my Instagram soon, so you can go check that out. But
That's interesting. I wonder if anybody could leave us a comment and tell us what kind of bee that was. I mean, it was definitely, your typical bumblebee, but what I want to know is that bee native? Because I mean, bees are one of the things that we have the most like exotic, you know, species of here because of all the honey. And like honeybees are not native to Florida or even the US. Uh,
hmm,
and that definitely wasn't a honeybee, but I'm, not an entomologist. Don't know. Don't never really thought about it. But seeing it have trouble get pollen from the native flower, it almost seemed like that bee didn't really know how to get the nectar out of there. The flower didn't care because it can deposit its pollen without the insect getting anything in return. But it offers that uh it usually will offer nectar to any insect that is able to receive the pollen because it's just an incentive. But the passion flower is a weird flower structurally,
sure,
and I don't really know if it's, if any passion flowers grow like in, Europe or Asia. I think it's mostly like, you know, North, Central, and South America. And so if that's a European bee, he might think he's tripping out of his mind seeing that thing. He's like,
Well,
what
it's
is
funny
this?
as we're talking about this, I'm thinking back to that was just a couple days ago I filmed that. And, you know, I'm out there smoking weed or not, but regardless, I'm watching him and he goes to the Biden's Alba and he had trouble like latching on to that. And so he went back to the Maypop passion flower because obviously there's a lot, it's like a pad for him to
It's much
land on.
bigger, yeah.
But yeah, I watched him for a while, and man, he was getting after it because that was one of the flowers that was by the pull up bar, so it had several flowers at the time, and yeah, as you could see, I mean, he was just covered in pollen, and I do have, oddly enough, butternut squash growing out of my compost, and there's three or four big giant squashes, big flowers. Because he had yellow all over him, and I don't know that he got that way from those passion flowers.
Could have been in the squash flower.
Yeah,
That's got to be a good flower for him for sure, because he can fly directly in there and get to everything. But yeah, I could imagine he'd have trouble on the Bidens. Those flowers are so small and that plant is so
yeah.
flimsy, he would probably knock that whole thing down.
Well, I'm like, if this dude is drunk, he's struggling, but he was having a good time on those Maypops. So I enjoyed watching them and always love being out there catching some. I have some new cricket looking grasshopper thing, probably about 4 to 6 inches long.
Oh, the lubbers, is it like
Not a
black and
lubber.
yellow?
No, it's
Oh,
kind of like different shades of brown and green. Um,
hmm.
First time I've ever seen it in Florida, and I mean, it let me. I'm not Steve Irwin taking it out of its habitat here, but I'm right up next to it with a video camera, and it didn't flinch at all, and um, it was gone an hour later, so I'm pretty sure it was alive. But uh,
Terrified. It
yeah,
was like, I'm never going back to that man's
that's
garden.
probably what it was. But yeah, just between the moringas flowering right now, the blue porterweed, some of the sweet potatoes have the morning glory flowers on them. Dragon fruits are flowering right now.
Oh, are they?
Um,
Wow, that's pretty exciting. But it sounds like you got a lot of diversity, like in
I
you
have your
know,
favorite crepe myrtles are out there. Um,
none of our I want you to show me a video of a bug or something in that flower on the crepe myrtles.
oh,
Uh,
bees constantly on there.
we gotta figure out what kind of bees they are.
Yeah, we do. We do.
None of our native insects, from what I've seen, will touch a crepe myrtle. Uh, and I mean, something's pollinating them. But what's strange, do you get seedlings from your crepe myrtles?
I believe I have because I've had a couple things in pots. I used to put a lot of like my seedlings under the crepe myrtles for
Hmm.
some shade and not realizing that all these flowers are going to drop and take over the pots and the ball seeds there.
You make
And so I
millions of seeds in those little things.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I do think at least in some of the pots I've had um they have turned to some little seedlings, but
A
um
couple. But
yeah.
that seems like, with the amount of seeds that the crepe myrtle makes, like if it was effectively getting pollinated, there should be thousands of seedlings, all the time with the amount of crepe myrtles that are around here. You know, they should be the most invasive species, but they don't reproduce super heavily, even though, they're making like each one of those balls is probably got 1,000 seeds in it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to tease an upcoming episode here because maybe next time we get together, Sam, I will have video evidence of what is actually trying to pollinate this crepe myrtle, and we can investigate and come back with what we figured out and share it with the world here.
conclusive evidence. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds great. Yeah, y'all stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Sam, it was a great time again. And to all those watching out there, if you have something you want us to check out, comment on, if you're struggling growing something, or maybe just want us to comment on your food forest or garden help in any way, message myself or Sam, and maybe you'll be a part of a future episode. So, Sam, let everybody know where they can hire your services and get them growing.
Yeah, if you need any advice about growing in Florida, working with Florida's ecosystems, check out Central Florida Abundance on Instagram and Facebook. And if you're in Polk County and you want to get some local produce, check out our website, igofarm.com, and you can sign up for our CSA, support a small farm, and get some healthy produce for your weekly meals. What about you, Mike? Where can we find you?
Mike's in the garden on all your appropriate social medias. And yeah, all the links are always down below. So definitely, if you're in Polk County, reach out to my man Sam, because you'll know you'll be getting it right from the source. And that's the best thing you can do. If you can't grow it yourself, at least get it from somebody that you know is growing it. And it's the next best thing. So,
Yep, and you can save those seeds too. It's a gateway.
absolutely. And if you want to support this channel, you can head on over to our Etsy shop and check out some fun kind of dad joke shirts. But we've got lots of dads out there, and who doesn't want to wear a shirt with a chicken that says "I poop breakfast" on it? I mean, you should
Oh,
be
I
heading
want
over
one.
there. Should be heading over there right now. So
I'm gonna
thank
get
you for
6.
thank you for tuning in, and this is where you need to go to get some fresh gear.
Y'all take care.